Who want one last trip to the long trail?
What game mode would you like to see in Tekken 8? So I uploaded a video about Tekken 8 game modes, and it was a clip from the stream where we were talking in detail about it, but I took it down. I took it down because it was being misunderstood. People were thinking that I was talking trash about Tekken Force, which wasn't the case. Like, I think Tekken Force should be in the game. I think Tekken Force is good, but I think that it's very demanding. Like, if you think about it, Harada said that to create one stage, it costs, how much did he say? 200, 100,000, 200,000. It was something like that. It was a lot to create a Tekken stage, right? We're talking about a square stage. So imagine if they created a map, because that's the difference, right? A stage is like a contained environment. A map is like something you can traverse. You go left, you go right, you go up the staircase, you go down. Like, Call of Duty isn't a stage. Call of Duty has maps. Marvel Rivals has maps. Fighting games has stages because you're in a real constricted environment. So if it costs 200 to 300,000 to create this stage, how much will it then cost to create a map? And I think that will be super expensive, and I don't know if Tekken at this point in time can do that. So I would love for them to do that, but I don't know if they can do that. And something that I would ask you guys in the past is, if they did bring back a Tekken Force, how many maps do you think is enough? They got it all with microtransactions. I think all the money they made this year wouldn't cover it. What I think they should do, there's certain games that does this, where you have like a dungeon, you have like a boss area, right? And when you go into that boss area, it's like randomly generated. That's the only way Tekken Force works in modern Tekken. Yeah, AI probably could help with that process, but we're not there yet, right? Harada's still trying to develop AI, and as we could tell with the Super Ghost AI, it's not there yet, right? As we could tell with all of these other AIs, it's not there yet. That breakthrough will probably happen in like 5 years. Fighting video games in general, it's just way too expensive, and we kind of like we lost it. Not surprisingly, combat conquest mode seems to have aged the best out of our previous MK games. Players seem to really like wandering through the realms of Mortal Kombat. So Conquest is similar to Tekken Force, right or wrong. Which Conquest do you like better, Deception, Armageddon? This was 2023. Chess combat. You put the characters on the board and you play chess, and the gameplay stays the same. So all you really have to do is create this environment, create the board, create the physics, and then that's it. All of the characters and stuff is already done. The gameplay is already done, right? That's kind of the idea with Teambattle. Like Teambattle, you're just creating the UI, you're just creating the menu screens, maybe some special animations, but the gameplay pretty much stays the same. So someone sent me a wish list for season 2, and it's 8 pages. Nothing in this document is official, and these are all fan-made ideas that I believe would make Tekken 8 a mildly better game. Versus match player effects, modifiers to gameplay that alter normal mechanics. Examples include double damage, health, handicap, always floor bounce. This seems like game modes that they're asking for, like I was doing on Twitter. Oh yeah. I like the idea of an elo system. This is what, when Tekken Prowess was first added into the game, this is what I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to categorize everyone from, 2 million all the way to 1, or they can only do it for the top ranks if they wanted to. But you can see, like, who is the best statted, best in the game. Do like a 1 to 100,000. See the top 100,000 players in the game. I think that would be fire. Tekken Prowess should have been that, in my opinion, or they could just put it in the leaderboard section. But teach your own. God color system. When reaching a specific rank point amount, the God logo changes colors. I like that. I like the idea of the God changing colors. Team battle idea. While team battle was fun and great, it has many risks, being a game mode that will be seen as gimmicky and over time abandoned in terms of who played Tekken Ball. This is the idea, right? You guys say put team battle and stuff in the game, and I agree, but I also acknowledge how over time it would fall off. A lot of people say put tournaments into Tekken 8 and what happened. They were in Tekken 7. But Harada said that the tournaments wasn't popular. In Tekken 7, they weren't popular. And you would have to imagine over time with Team Battle, it would just lose its like wow factor, which is why my idea, I think, is the correct way to go. When you have all of these different game modes that people want in a game, I think it's a bad idea to just throw all of those things in the game and just say, have at it. I think you should make it like it should alternate. It should be an alternating thing where like on this weekend you play this mode, on that weekend you play that mode, and you alternate the hype. Because I do agree, bro. Like if they put Team Battle in a game, everyone will use it at the start, but within a month, 2 months, 3 months time, no one will be playing it. And the reason why I say that is because that's how Tekken players are. When something's added into the game, it's really popular, and then 4 months later, everyone's back to playing their main character in ranked in player match, and that's it. And the only way you can break that cycle is by having a thing show up, leave, show up, leave. And I know it will suck. People will be like, we don't want it to do that. But the idea is to trick the players. You have to trick the players, because the players, they get bored of things. I don't want to play with this anymore. You guys know the meme. You get bored of it. So if they have it there for a limited time, take it away, and then they put something else there in its place, it just keeps it fresh, in my opinion. I think putting the game mode as a permanent is not a good idea. And this is just going based off of the past 2 Tekkens. With Tekken Ball, no one plays it. With Tekken Bowling, no one played it. So I think in modern Tekken games, players are interacting with game modes differently, and you have to come up with a different strategy to keep the players engaged. So this is why I think they should do this. Alternate all of these different ideas, and every weekend. And I said weekend, but they could really do whichever, like smart games put it on their least popular day. Whatever day for Tekken throughout the week is the day that has the least players. Let's say it's Wednesday. Then every Wednesday is Team Battle, or like alternating whatever. So Team Battle, old Tekken games, 3v3, Mokuja mode, every Wednesday. And then what that does is it turns your lowest playtime day into your highest, because people are showing up. It's a great system for many different reasons. And I could explain more, and I feel like I should, because I know there's going to be people out there who's like, oh, this Moonsault, that's a horrible idea. Just put the game mode in the game and leave it. I will play it. We will play it. You're an idiot for saying that no one will play it. Tekken Ball was trash because the developers made it trash, and that's why it's trash. But Team Battle wouldn't be trash because it's a great game, and like I get it. I get that's like people's ideas, but like we just have many different instances that's not what happens, And I think you have to trick them. And also, if they did it this way, you would get more. So instead of getting one game mode that's permanent, you will get multiple different experiences each week, right? So it's a difference in how much you get. Now, to be fair, this kind of will take some time to set up, but not necessarily a lot. I still think doing this will be easier than doing Tekken Force. Adding all of these modes into the files of the games and have them automatically alternate every Wednesday or weekend would still be less demanding than doing a Tekken Force, because Tekken Force, once again, you have to create all of the different stages, all of the different assets and resources. You have to radically overhaul every character's gameplay. You have to balance it. You have to patch it. You have to, create multiple different levels or a randomly procedurally generated map. Those are very complex things to do. Meanwhile, all of these things here, you're using the normal Tekken 8 formula. The normal Tekken 8 gameplay that we're experiencing right now, you're using that. You're just adding certain modifiers to it. Also, what you have to talk about for Team Battle is Tekken Tag Tournament 2. Harada said that, and now I know people disagree with this, but this is what the developers said. I'm telling you what they said. They said no one wants to play a game with that many characters, and players struggles to play multiple characters. The developers themselves says that you guys are trash at the game. They said it, not me. I'm telling you what they said. They said you're trash at the game and you cannot play 2 characters. When they put Tag 2 and people had to play 2 characters, they couldn't do it. They could barely get the grasp of one character, which is why they simplified all the characters in Tekken 8. But 2 characters was impossible. So Tekken Tag Tournament 2 according to the developers, failed for that reason because it was too much to fight against two characters at one time, but also was too much to use two characters at two times. That's what the developer said. So if you compare that to Team Battle, which is like 8 characters at a time, 10 characters, 5 characters, however many characters they would want to make it, you would have to imagine that thing that they said about people using two characters in tag would also apply to Team Battle, which is why I think that's one thing that could prevent that mode from being a reality. Even though you do have that time when Harada said if it's requested a lot, he will put it into Tekken 8. It's not a no outright, but that's just something we have to consider, is that there's a lot of people out there who can't play multiple characters. And if they put this mode in the game, they would struggle to do so. But also, I think that's Tekken's fault also. I also think Tekken hasn't really given people a reason to learn multiple characters. People just play the character that they like, and that's it. Tekken 7, massive roster. Tag 2, massive roster. Tekken 8, the roster is going to increase. Even Tekken 6, massive roster. These Tekken games have massive rosters, but they don't really give the players a reason to learn multiple characters, or at least 2. Tekken Tag Tournament 2 was the first modern Tekken game to do so, and of course everyone sucked at it. Of course everyone sucked at having to do something different for the first time. But if it was a common thing where they, gave the players opportunities to use multiple characters, then you would have to assume over time people would get better at least one or two other characters, because there are people out there who could play multiple characters. It's just that those guys are willing to do so, whereas like other people, they don't. They just play the one character. So that's an idea as well. Like if you put Team Battle in the game and if you leave it there as like a primary mode for all of time, people naturally will get better at playing more characters, is the idea. So it says for offline modes, each player can have 1 to 8 characters. Online modes have up to 3, so they limit it. That's cool. I think that also is a good idea. Offline 1 to 8, online 3 characters. I think that's a great idea. If a character wins but lose health, the character only receives the recoverable health. That's a good idea as well. I like that as well. That's something you have to take into consideration: the heat system, health, and how you would do that with the team situation. And I like that this person is breaking it down and giving us ideas, because the developers probably would do something like this or consider these, right? It would be fantastic if multiple players could have enough handles, 6 people connecting in a match. Oh, I like that as well. So when you're choosing your character, you also choose, do you want to have teammates? If you want to have teammates, you say yes, and then you will pick your character, and then your teammates will pick those other characters. And then if you say no, you'll pick all 3 of your characters, and then you guys will be put into the same pool. Like Tekken Tag Tournament 2 did this as well. Tekken Tag Tournament 2, you can have Tekken Tag Tournament 2 did some crazy things. Even though that game was a failure, it did some crazy things. In Tekken Tag Tournament 2, you could have 2 characters, like you could pilot character 1, character 2, but then you could go up against someone who is couch co-op with their friend, and player 1 is piloting one character and player 2 is piloting another character, and it says player 1, player 2, player 3, and they could switch out. That was crazy, and I do think something like that for Team Battle would be fire as well. Other than that, just buff any character I decide to play and nerf everyone else because my character is super honest and fundamental, and your character is, oh my god, oh my god, oh my